Good evening and welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of the Sunday Bunch Live. Great to be back with us. Of course, Jack Shields. Jack, have you had a good day?
Yeah, it's been all right. Stuffed off my Sunday dinner.
Nice one. While we're talking about food and dinners and stuff like that, we might as well welcome Dino tonight as well, who likes his food and Sunday dinners. Dino, you had a good day?
Boring and quiet, really.
All right, fair enough. How's your trips to the gym? I see that you're going to the gym now. How's that going?
Good. I'm going tonight after here.
Yeah, you're looking well off it. And also we've been joined by the Mad Mistake. Hello, Terry. How's your day been?
Great day. Nice and chilled. Nice long lie-in this morning. Nice fish cake and chips for tea. Been for a nice walk and a run. And I'm having a lovely pint. So yes, I'm off work tomorrow. Do a bit of wallpaper stripping.
Oh, there you go. Bit of stripping. All right. Can't beat a good Sunday morning lie-in. Right. Well, before we get started on everything, I just want to clear this up, get this out of the way. Yes, my mum passed away in December, which is why I've not been here. I want to thank everybody who sent messages of condolence to us. We've seen them all. I've read them all. I passed them on to the family, and they were very much appreciated. And we do thank you all for that. Also, we are live on the show, so you can join us via the live chat. You can do that if you want to join in. A little bit earlier when I was on, I noticed we had a message from Richie Stubbs. He said, can we give a shout out to his boy Kieran? So hello, Kieran, if you're watching in, hello to you from the team down here. So before we start on yesterday's game, I want to start with this news, which has been trickling through over the last 24 hours. That Sunderland could be recalling Will Grigg back to the club. So I'd like your thoughts on this. People on social media saying Lee Johnson has lost the plot. I think it's a bit of a masterstroke myself, but your thoughts on it? Jack, are we going to go with you first?
I don't think Will Grigg's got a future at Sunderland, but it can't be good having an automatic promotion rival benefiting from him either. Obviously, if he starts to do well and score goals for Rotherham and it's at Sunderland's detriment, then that would look like a bit of a strange decision. So he might not want to hear this himself, but even if he just sits on our bench for 5 or 6 months and doesn't really contribute, I'd rather he was doing that than impacting upon Rotherham. Like I say, I think it would be a crazy decision if he scores the goals that take Rotherham up and we end up having to go through the playoffs. So, I mean, he obviously has no future at Sunderland, but yeah, keep him on the bench and just keep him doing nothing until his contract's up in the summer, I think.
Yeah, I think I've got to agree with you. I can't really see him playing for Sunderland unless we were really desperate, if we got injuries to Stewart and we were really desperate if we didn't bring any strikers in. But for me, I mean, I do instantly see it as a masterstroke. I think the idea of calling him back has got nothing to do with the fact that we necessarily want him in the team. I just think that they are our closest rivals at the moment, and getting him out of their team is just a masterstroke. Terry?
The masterstroke would be to buy Freddie Ladapo, then bring Will Grigg back. That would be the masterstroke. Even just swap Will Grigg with Freddie Ladapo. Let him keep Will Grigg. We'll have him instead.
Yeah, fair enough. Dino, your thoughts on bringing Will Grigg home?
Well, I wouldn't say home. Like, you know, he doesn't even live up here when he even joined with, did he? So it's not really his home. I mean, you could do that. you could do that, but I feel sorry for and it's like. Don't give your opposition any power or any strength over you. I know if we play Rotherham, he won't be able to play against us, but I mean, is he scoring goals for Rotherham? I don't even know how he's doing for him. Is he doing any good?
Well, I'm not sure, but I do believe Freddie Ladapo's put in a transfer request anyway. So the fact.
So what you're thinking? So we bring him back from loan. say, we'll swap you Will Grigg for Freddie Ladapo, and then think Rotherham will say, I will do that, and then or whatever, or we give Will Grigg some money or something like that.
Well, either that, that would work for me, but even more so if it's true that Freddie Ladapo's put in a transfer request, that alone can upset the apple cart, can't it? If he's more or less by doing that saying that he doesn't want to be there. If that gets rid of Freddie Ladapo and then their backup's Will Grigg and we've taken him back, I just think it's a great move.
The thing is, though, just because he's putting a transfer request doesn't mean other teams are going to go in with money and try and buy him, because they might be asking for over the odds, like they did for Will Grigg for when Wigan done that to us, asking for over the odds for a player. Maybe people. Who's he playing for? Rotherham. Maybe Rotherham will try and do that. And just because you're putting a transfer request doesn't mean that teams are going to come in for you, because it's basically just saying, look, I think a transfer request, it's like the Wayne Rooney thing. He said he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave, but they said we need to sell you for money. He went, well, I don't want to go to Arsenal. He went, well, you need to put a transfer request in. It's basically for the fans to show that it's not up to the manager, it's the player himself who wants to leave to go to a different club. So I think it's more of a political thing, so Rotherham can say, "Oh, look, we want to play Ladapo, but he doesn't want to be here. Not our problem."
All right, Terry, you was one in there.
Yeah, let's upset the apple cart. Let's upset the apple cart even more. Let's put in a below asking price for Ladapo and upset him even more by Rotherham saying no. You can't go for that price and get his mind going a bit more, play more mind games. I think we should put a bid in for him personally.
I would more than happily take Freddie Ladapo. I think he would be an excellent addition to our squad. Just very quickly on the chat, we want to give a shout out to Las Palmas Mackham, who's up there against us. Evening, lads. Get Grigg back. Placed on gardening leave. Disrupts Rotherham. James Langley's in there. John Humphrey. John T, hello to you. Terry, you want back in again?
Yeah, we could bring Will Grigg back and get another mascot outfit and put him in a mascot outfit and run up and down the touchline. We could do that with Will Grigg.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd apply with that. Marion Trells is in there. Hello, you lovely Sunday bunch. Hello, Marion. How you doing? Jimmy, Mickey Stewart, David Walker, Mick Griffiths, all in there as well. Spannerman says, buenas noches, amigos. Your thoughts then on Freddie Ladapo? Jack, would you snatch at him straight away?
For the right price, I think he tortured us when we played Rotherham in October. He seemed to be all over the place against us. He was running in behind. He's popped up with a few goals. I think for the right price, I'll be interested, but I think we're more so needing maybe a defender or a bit more muscle in the middle. I think that, don't get me wrong, we do need a backup striker, but I wouldn't focus too much on him because, Rotherham might set the price high for him and it might be a bit of a difficult one for us to get, you know what I mean? So I'd be interested at the right price, but I wouldn't go like Terry touched on when we went all out for Will Grigg and then we ended up, they had us over a barrel, didn't they? We ended up paying probably twice what he was actually worth because we're focused solely on that one player. So it's still early in the window as well, isn't it? What we at the 9th of January, the window's open for the best part of another 3 weeks. So I think it's important we keep all of our options open as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't think, sorry, Terry, I'll come now. I don't think the Will Grigg situation will happen again. I think I can't see that happening under the new regime at the club. Terry?
Just what I was going to say, there's no way these guys are too wise for the age just to kind of do anything like that. They'd rather go and get some young talented up-and-coming strikers coming through and play over the top for Freddie Ladapo. But there's no harm in putting a bid in.
Yeah, fair enough. Just very quickly, Tony Lee on the chat as well. Hi to you. He's having a little chat with Spannerman on there. He says 2 and Tony Lee says, yeah, 2 tonight, Holly. I don't know what they're on about. Wingy. Right then, before we go on to yesterday's game then, quickly want to say to the viewers out there, and especially the members, we are doing a SAFC Fan TV trip to the Bolton game on the 29th of January. We're all going down. We've got a bus, we've got tickets, and there is a spare place on the bus and a ticket, which we are going to give away to one of the members of the channel. So if you are a channel member and you're in the area so that you're available to go on the 29th of January down to Bolton, the bus is paid for, your ticket is paid for as well. If you would like to join us, then all you have to do is just send your name as it is on YouTube to our email address to express your interest. Tell us that you would like to be part of that. That is SAFC Fan TV 73 at gmail.com. Send us your name. We'll put you into a hat and we will draw that out. That is existing members, but we will throw it open to new members as well. If you do want to join the channel, it's only $1.99 to do that. If you want to join the channel, and there is a link in the description below. And come on the bus with us. Join us on an away day. Terry will be singing probably most of the way down. He'll keep you entertained. We'll vlog it as well, so we'll stick some stuff on the channel and be part of the day out to Bolton. So if you fancy doing that, you just got to be a member of the channel. We'll throw it on to members and send us an email to express your interest. Right then, 3-3 down at Wycombe yesterday. Point gained or 2 points lost? Dino?
Well, like you said, I would have been happy with a point at the start of the game, but with the way it ended, it's 2 points drop, because if you score a goal in the 95th minute and then concede in the 98th, I mean, it's just awful. I mean, the goal we conceded was a weak goal. I mean, the first goal, I would say, deflection. It's just unlucky. It's one of them. I thought Patterson played quite good. He made some quite good saves, but there's nothing you can really do with a deflection when it's like 10 yards away from you. Second goal, I thought it was weak defending. You could blame for a foul on Patterson, but then for our goal, Ross Stewart, you could blame a free kick for them, because they seemed to Ross Stewart pushed him before he headed the ball off the bar and then onto his butt. But the last goal again, I mean, everybody in the ground knows where that ball's going. It's going towards Akinfenwa at the back post. You just need to get bodies around it, and somehow they've managed to get a header on goal. Patterson's made a good save, and Jacobson's just standing there 2 yards out. I mean, I thought 2 goals were really weak defending on our part. But overall on the game, I thought we played really good. But another game, we would have battered them about 8-3 or something, 8-2. We hit the bar. Keeper made some really good saves. We were creating chances. It was just the quality in the end. There was a couple of times where Pritchard done lovely through balls to players, and players' touches were just letting them down. Gooch had one, Embleton had one, Corey Evans had a lack of pace where he just couldn't get there on the one-on-one. It's just a bit of lack of quality in the end, but it's disappointing. But the way we're playing is so positive right now. You can only take positives from that game, just apart from the last-minute goal.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, I want to go back to the chat. It's Bobby Cowley says, if Grigg came back and scored 8 to 9 goals till the end of the season, would you take that? Of course we would take that, but I think there's more to it than that. Adam French says, keep him there and give Rotherham Benji also. Hello to Thane, he's joined us. DJ Earth says, we need another striker to strengthen our defence. Our defence cost us victory against Wycombe. Emma Hansen, Dino, is that the new COD you're playing in the background?
But it was. Yeah, it
All
was.
right. There you go. Jack, point gained, 2 points lost. What do you think?
I think a point gained overall. I always think if the team's around you, if you go away from home and you don't lose, it's a solid result. I know it's an absolute stinker when you're 3-2 up in injury time. I think everybody, myself included, maybe thought that Ross Stewart goal was going to win it for us, but Wycombe do seem to get a hell of a lot of goals late on. I think in the Football League, they're one of the teams there scoring 89, 90 minutes plus. So maybe we're a bit naive. Maybe we should have known that Wycombe might get a one late on. No surprise how they got it as well. I think 2 of their 3 goals were basically scrambles. The ball looped up in the air from a set piece, and they've kind of scrambled the ball into the net, which is annoying because if a team scores a good goal against you, you say, oh, it was a good goal. But when you concede sloppy goals like that, I thought they were both avoidable. And I think it highlights that we're still lacking a little bit of strength at the back, a little bit of athleticism in the middle. I thought the first half we went 1-0 up and then we were poor for the first half. I thought we allowed them to get the ball down. They were physically dominant in the first half. They got the body in front of the ball a lot of time, dropped down for free kicks, and really we were poor. And then second half, loads better. We were the team that were on the front foot. When we get the 3-2 up, you want to hang on, but unfortunately we couldn't. We weren't able to do it. I think it just highlights, like you say, though, we are lacking maybe a bit of a horrible centre half and an athletic midfielder, just a little bit of physicality still at this level.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly, back to the chat. David Walker, you've made a point about the Wigan chairman, and we are going to bring that up actually a little bit later on. So we will speak about that. Michael Powers, of course, part of the channel down here, says on about Ladapo, he's put a transfer request in. Sunderland were linked with him today. How true that is, however, I don't know. Michael, you need to do your homework because you should know. And we also want to give a shout out to Marianne and Carl Taylor, our friends in Boston, Massachusetts. They've donated $5 via the super chat. Can we have a round of applause for them for that? Says then here, welcome back, Philly. Thought we played well. Goalkeeper to blame for 1 goal, 2 weak. Had quite a strong team. Stewart and Pritchard were immense. Whilst we're on with the super chat, we will tell you you can donate to the channel via the super chat. It is free to chat on the live chat. You can do that. But if you'd like to donate, that is gratefully accepted. Of course, it does cost money to run this channel. It doesn't make a profit. So everything we get in is gratefully accepted. And if you would like to do that, there is a $sign at the live chat. You just click on that, find the amount you'd like to donate, and you do it like that. And as we said, that would be gratefully appreciated. Terry, point gain, 3 points lost. What do you think?
Well, I thought Wycombe away, when you look at the start of the season, one of the hardest games of the season for me is Wycombe away. Physical side, playing well down from the Championship. You know, they're always going to be strong. They've got one of the oldest squads in the league, so they're experienced. And away at Wycombe is always going to be a difficult game. Now, when I saw the team sheet yesterday and I seen all the absences through COVID, you had Burge out, you had Hoffman out, had to recall 3 young uns from the other, I saw out on loan. And you're seeing Bailey Wright picked up an injury. And I seen the team, I thought, you know, end of the day, that the bench looked really, really weak. Bunch of youngsters. Then I would have taken a draw. I would have taken a draw, and I would have been over the moon with the draw. During the game, the way the game was going on in the first half, I thought that we actually, when we started well and then Wycombe equalised and went in front, I thought it could be one of those bad days at the office. I thought we were going to get beat. I thought it could have been 4-5-1. That's the way things were going. But we seemed to have some resilience. We seemed to have some way of coming back and fighting back. And the team spirit was absolutely fantastic. I thought going forward, I thought Stewart was amazing. And how he got that goal as an own goal from the keeper, for me, it crossed the line before it ricocheted up his arsehole. But I mean, I thought Pritchard, Gooch, Embleton, they all played really well. We had Winchester. We makeshift team. We got Winchester back at right back. I think Flanagan had an off day. Patterson, the young keeper in goal, great experience for him. And the second half, we could have had 3 or 4 in the first 10 minutes. Second half, we outplayed Wycombe second half. But Wycombe always going to come strong towards the end. And 3-3 end of the day, fair result. Probably not, because I thought we were just slightly the better side. I thought we had the better chances, better opportunities. I thought we could have scored 4, 5 or 6. You know, I thought Stewart could have had 4 as well, to be honest. And it was a really good battling team performance. I think the only reason we didn't get 3 points yesterday is because Lee Johnson and the team stepped up to the plate and they didn't bottle out by taking the old COVID route. They played the game when loads of other teams have pussied out and said, we've got COVID, we've got 4 players out, we're going to take that, you know, the old COVID card and rest and not play the team. Well, Lee Johnson yesterday took it on the chin with the team. He believed in the loanees that came back to the side, and they did have proved them right. And I thought yesterday we were really unlucky not to take 3 points, and I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of the players. I'm proud of Lee Johnson. Now all I can say is going to Lincoln and games going ahead and winning these matches. I think we have really now the basics of a really good, strong second half of the season. But yeah, the old chestnut COVID, does it come back in again later in the week? Do we get more people out with COVID? We'll soon see, but I'm proud of the team yesterday. I really enjoyed the match. Good advert for League One. Wycombe, one of the better sides in League One, so point away, I thought it's a good result.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat, Drac, or whatever he's called, Ladapo's definitely put a request in. As for Grigg, he scored 6 in 20. Different things also on the chat. Bradley Young, who's part of our team, who does some interviews at the ground for us. Embleton, lucky he didn't get sent off second half. And also, what we'll do is we'll slightly veer away then from this game because purely the fact that Terry, you brought up about the COVID card, playing the COVID card. Before we do go any further, by the way, I want to give a shout out to John T, who has donated €9.99 for us. Come have a round of applause to the channel. Thank you very much, John T. As we said, it is gratefully accepted, and it does help with the running costs of the channel. What we'll do, we will jump on then to this COVID card. Now, the Wigan chairman has come out today, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, and he's saying that he would like the league season extended. Now, he's saying that what they've done as a club, Wigan, they have done the right thing because of COVID. It's about protecting other players, people around. The right thing to do is to cancel. Now, do we buy this or do we not? Is he actually gone, our team is weakened here. We've got 2 men out, so we're going to call this off, right? And then he's trying to sort of do a double whammy here so that they don't then have a backlog of fixtures. They now want the league season extended. Do you buy what he's saying, or do you think he's just trying to pull a fast one? Dino?
Pulling a fast one for me, because I believe all players will probably be double jabbed. I'm guessing. I think there'll be rules for players to all have double jabs, unless exempt for medical reasons. So if all of them are double jabbed, everything should be fine. And to say extend the league, I mean, when Sunderland were in prime position to try and get the top 2, and we didn't want the league called off, and the only teams who wanted the league called off are the ones who would benefit from it, the ones who would get into the playoff position. I think it's wrong. It should go ahead as normal. Yeah, people are going to get COVID, but you just got to treat COVID like injuries, haven't you, really? If you've got it, you're not playing. It's as simple as that. And that's when you've got to use your squad, use your youngsters from your academy and stuff like that. So for me, there's no excuses. We've done this route of cancelling games and cancelling the season and all that. It shouldn't happen again. And it just shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely trying to pull a fast one, and like Terry said, you know, I mean, credit to Lee Johnson really, because you know we could have quite easily played that card as well, and you know, credit to him for doing what he's done. Sorry, Dino, go on, you want back in?
Yeah, it's credit to him as well for the simple fact, if you remember the first season on the Jack Ross or the Parkland someone, when we would only have like 2 people on internationals, we'd call games off. I mean, we had how many players out with COVID? 4 or 5, and we still went ahead with it. So it just shows how much belief he must have in the players. Whereas the last season or the season before, when 2 players were going to internationals, would call the games off. So it's a credit to Blake Johnson for believing in these players, and hopefully the upstairs boardroom weren't trying to like hoax him to get it called off, because we did believe last season or the season before that Stuart Donald wanted them called off, didn't we? So it didn't cost him much money or something like that. So there's a lot of things around it, but good on him.
Right, fair enough. I'll come to you just now, Terry. There's people asking about Corey Evans on the chat as well. As far as we're aware, he was knocked out yesterday for quite some time. But news from the club is that he's fine. He's okay. It was just, you know, it looks a lot worse than it was. So that's how we believe the situation with Corey Evans to be at the moment. Terry, is the Wigan chairman trying to pull a fast one here, do you think?
Oh, 100% of course he is, man. There's no way the league should be extended. You see Premier League teams. You see Liverpool and all them want the league extended in Premier League. I don't think that'll happen either. But, you know, there's no way. They've got 3 games a week. for the next few weeks. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Didn't they play one of the cup matches during the week and won 6-0 with Max Power playing and scoring goals? So for me, it's just hard lines. Fleetwood called their game off. Lincoln called their game off. It's just the way it goes. You got to take the good with the bad. Like I said, like Dino said, a few seasons ago, COVID, upset our apple cart a little bit. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. So, at the end of the day, I wish Wigan all the best, but there's no way in the world. If we were asking for this, there's no way the AFL would do it for Sunderland, so they shouldn't do it for anybody at all.
I think if you're gonna, I do agree. I mean, I think if you're gonna use the COVID card because it weakens your team, then I think you've also got to accept that you're going to have a backlog of fixtures and you're going to have to play them where you're going to be playing Tuesday, Saturday. And then, if you want to use, go on, Terry.
Wigan should go into the transfer market and spend some money and buy some more players, bring some more players in the January window rather than mess about with the COVID card.
Jack, Wigan chairman, do you think he's pulling a fast one?
Yeah, of course. I think what Wigan and other teams have tried to do, not just at our level, higher up as well, teams have obviously had, injuries and things, and they're trying to use COVID as an excuse to try and play more games when they've got stronger squads. Perhaps they're wanting to get players back, or maybe after January when they've made the January signings, they're wanting to try and play as many games later on in the season as they can to give themselves an advantage, and you're using COVID as an excuse. Now, that's fine, but then when you've got your fixture backlog, you've got your fixture pile-up later on in the season, you can't then come out and say, "Oh, I want the season extended." You either have it one way or the other. You can't have it both ways, and that's what we're going to try to do. They're trying to play games later on, when you've got full quarter of players and they've made the January signings, and then they want the fixture list extended as well. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry. And all this rubbish about he's trying to say, "Oh, I'm doing we've done what's right in terms of COVID." It's absolutely nothing to do with COVID. I'm sorry, but every chairman, every owner, everyone involved with the football club only thinks about one thing, and that's their own football club. The only thing he's bothered about is the success of Wigan Athletic Football Club. He's not bothered about being this kind of morally high person in terms of COVID or anything like that. The problem Wigan have got as well is they're also in both cup competitions. I think Wigan went through yesterday, didn't in the last minute in the FA Cup. I think they're also in the last 16 or quarter-final stage of the Pizza Cup, the EFL Trophy. I don't know what stage we're at that, whether it's last 16 or quarter-final, but I'm sure Wigan is still in that as well. And now suddenly they realised, oh, hang on, probably wasn't the best idea to delay these games, and it's come back to bite them on the backside. But they should not be allowed to extend the season. Absolutely 100% not.
Right. Sorry?
You just can't have your cake and eat it, simple as. I mean, going back to injuries.
Whoa, hang on. I think if we ask Dino, I think you probably can't have your cake and eat it.
He'd have a slice, you can't have it all. I mean, prime example, Newcastle lost, was it Wilson and St. Maximan? Next game postponed. COVID. Yes, okay, right.
Yeah, right. Just very quickly, Tony Lee, friend of the show, my pal is trying to call Dino out here on your knowledge of Sunderland history yesterday. He did actually send me a message after we'd done our commentary. Dino's football knowledge of the last few years is embarrassing, and he's not going to buy it when you say it was before my time, because he says everybody knows what happened in 1066. Dino, what happened in 1066?
I didn't know.
Well, maybe not everyone knows then. There you go.
Battle of Hastings. Of course, we know the Battle of Hastings in 1066.
Yes, I know. Right.
I bet you Jack didn't know that. He does now. Well,
I didn't know that, to be fair.
Oh God. Right. Anyway, just very quickly before we go back to yesterday's game, I want to give a shout out to Trevor Dudden, who's donated £10 via the super chat. Round of applause, Trevor. Thank you very much. Trevor says, "Great show always, lads. Love listening to you guys. Keep it up. Come on, lads. Let's do this." Yes, we are all, whatever our opinions are, that is our opinions, your opinion, who watch this. At the end of the day, we all say, we all want the same thing. We're all Sunderland fans, and we all want a successful Sunderland team. So, and again, thank you to you for that, and for everybody for tuning in. We've got 242 people already on the live chat. We've got 62 likes. We'd like to try and hit 100 if we can. Just hit the thumbs up. It'll take you a second to do so. And of course, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to the channel, it's free to subscribe. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. And once again, that helps the channel out immensely. Yesterday, 3-3 down at Wycombe. Me and Dino, we did the commentary on the game. Well, Dino did his excellent commentary. We sort of didn't quite agree with their second goal. I thought it was a foul on Patterson. It could have been people were saying an offside and stuff like that. Your thoughts on it, Jack? Do you think Patterson was fouled on that second goal?
I'm not so much sure about a foul, but their lad was definitely interfering with play in an offside position. You've got somebody practically stood on the goal line in an offside position who does interfere with the way that the ball goes down and the way that it ends up going into the net. So I'm not too sure on a foul, but that certainly. But there was all kinds of things going on there, Phil, wasn't there? There was about 2 or 3 different infringements. I think one of our defenders was pulling onto a Wycombe striker, which potentially could have been given as a penalty. You've then got a potential foul on the keeper. You've got the lad stood in an offside position. It was just a really scruffy, scrappy goal. And someone said if that had been VAR'd at a higher level, that gets chalked off. I was surprised it didn't get chalked off, to be honest. But we can't whinge too much because we conceded a very similar goal for the third one. And that was a clear, no legitimate goal. There was no infringement there. And it was a similar scrappy goal. So I think, yeah, we were a bit hard done by, but I think we've also got to be stronger at set pieces. We've got to have maybe look for someone in January to a real tough header of the ball. We missed Bailey, right? In that scenario, maybe he would have been better at being a real, linchpin in the defence and being able to, get his head on both of those. But I think it's just scrappy, scruffy goals like that are frustrating when you concede them because they're so avoidable.
Right, fair enough. Different people on here. John T said it was definitely a foul. Emma Hansen says if it went to VAR, it wouldn't have been given. Colin Major says 1066 was the last time the Bags won a cup, apparently. So there you go. Terry, do you think Patterson was fouled for that second goal?
Well, it was definitely should have been disallowed for, like I say, offside or even a foul. But, that's the way it is in this league, isn't it? We know the referee and the linesmen are absolute garbage and the poor quality. They've got no ambition to get promoted to the Championship or Premier League. These officials just turn up and expect the money. They're not great, are they? They're not great at the job. So we kind of expect them kind of decisions. But like Jack said, we need players to be stronger in them situations. But it was a makeshift side yesterday. It was a makeshift defence, It's been changed around last minute. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to lay blame on anybody. I thought Patterson wasn't really to blame for any of the goals. I thought he did his best. I thought the guy was manhandling, had his arm around him from the second goal and trying to drag him back into the goal. So it was a good learning experience for Patterson. I think he'll learn from that experience. Hopefully with the coaches they have at the club, we'll find some way of sort of doing better against physical sides like that. So hopefully we'll get better as it goes on. And, I wouldn't blame Patterson for any of the goals yesterday.
Right, fair enough. But what I'll do then, Dino, because we know that you sort of thought slightly different on that. Should they have had a penalty? Because I know you gave your thoughts on this, Dino, when their man was through, and some people said they could have had a penalty. Dino?
Yeah, I thought they definitely could have had a penalty. I think it was Flanagan when he tried to control the ball and he totally missed control, and I think Hanlon nipped him because Hanlon was causing more problems all day with his pace, and he got in the box and at first it looked like he went down quite easy, but when I went to the replays, Flanagan's hip made contact with the top of I was going to say Ladapo there, Hanlon's thigh, and thigh went down. I thought it could have been definitely given as a penalty. But you take, again, with the goals, I mean, Ross Stewart's first goal, he pushed the defender in the back, could have easily been given the other way. Their second goal, there was, like Jack says, there was that many infringements. I think it was Dan Neil had a hold of their player who was pushing onto Patterson. So it was like it looked like Dan Neil was pushing him onto Patterson. I mean, there was just so much going on. But for me, it was weak defending. Not one player went to jump up with Sam Vokes. No Sunderland player got off the ground. and it was the same for the last goal. When it went to the back post, I think it hit Sam Vokes again. Patterson made a good save, and it just fell to Jacobson. I mean, nothing Patterson could have done about it, but again, weak defending. No one challenged Sam Vokes. Sam Vokes was winning headers for fun. So, yeah, for me, it was weak defending.
Fair enough. Terry, you was wanting there.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the keeper, Patterson, I'd make sure I was a lot stronger in the future and really sort of, if they're going to manhandle me, I'd just push them out the way, simple as, even before the corner's taken. But say, like Dino says about the penalty decision, I thought was really weak. There's no way that was a penalty. They went back on, they looked at the replay time and time again. Even the people on the replay on Sky said it wasn't a penalty. He hardly touched them. He went down looking for a penalty. But on the other side of the things, I do think Embleton probably could have got a red card for that challenge. It was studs up on his ankle. So, we've had some good luck and some bad luck. We had the decision for the goal that they scored, second goal against us. But again, Embleton could have been sent off. So you got to take the floor. At the end of the day, the referees and the officials are absolutely shite in this league. And they're always going to be shite in this league until they go full time.
Right, fair enough. Whilst you're on with that, though, Terry, do you think the referee had that bad of a game yesterday?
Well, to be honest, he got a decision. Probably if it went to VAR, Stewart's goal in the Premier League probably would have been chalked off. I'm not quite sure. That's a bit more sort of a grey area. Patterson's the second goal would have been chalked off. I think it would have been a red card on Embleton. Decent officials. I think that's definitely not a penalty. The bad game. It wasn't that. I mean, there was a decision later on as well where our player was getting ripped to bits with his shirt, and Winchester pulled him, and he got a flipping free kick. It's like, what? You can't have both ways. He pulls his shirt, and then he lets go, and he gets fouled, and he fouls him. It's just ridiculous, man. But yeah, it's what you expect, man. They're all rubbish. All the officials in this league are absolutely shite. Simple as.
I do think, though, if at least the decisions have gone sort of both ways. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I mean. The referee and officials are terrible. They're terrible.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough, Brad. I'd rather have it than it going all one way. You know what I mean? It's like, if he's making a bad decision against us,
they seem more interested in the full-time job working as a trolley boy at Tesco's than they do trying to go up the ladder as being a referee. And man, honest to God, they've got no ambition whatsoever.
Yeah, but I think they probably get more money paid as a trolley boy at Tesco's.
Yeah, but you've got to have the ambition, man. You get into the Premier League, get big wages, you pack your job in as a trolley boy, man. You got young'uns spitting at you at Tesco's, throwing paper right here, leaving trolleys down the street in a Dean. Why on earth would you want to be a trolley boy at Tesco's? I mean, at the end of the day, someone does it, so I'm not saying it's a terrible job. I pushed trolleys years ago. I pushed trolleys years ago as a YTS at Asda, and it was horrible. It was horrible. So the referees, get your finger out, do a better job, and get into the Premier League, for God's sake.
Right, okay. So how much do you get pushing trolleys, Dino? Because isn't that what you do?
How am I supposed to know? You'll be pushing a trolley soon, Philly. When you get to that age, you'll be pushing one of them trolleys around to get around the house.
No, listen, I'll be a lollipop man. That's what I'm doing, something like that.
Well, you're fatty enough, aren't you? So you'll fit in exactly.
Right. Good. Jack, should it have been a penalty?
I think, are we talking about the one on the corner? Are we talking about? Am I thinking of the wrong one?
No, where went? Was it Hanlon? Was it Dino?
I think it was Hanlon, and because Flanagan got caught out. It was in the second half.
Right, I remember it. Yeah, no, not really. I think he does give him a bit of a nudge, but I don't think that's a penalty. I thought the one decision we did get was, as Terry touched on, I thought that Embleton tackle, that was a bit of a naughty one. That looked like he lost his head a little bit, and then he's gone in studs up and high. I thought that was a red, to be honest. I thought it was a red when he did it. But I thought we were a little bit fortunate for him to get away with the yellow. But I agree with the refereeing standards at this level. I think, we used to, I remember criticising when we were in the Premier League, the referees, but then when you go down to League One, you're begging for the likes of Mark Clattenburg and people like that, and Kevin Friend. You remember Kevin Friend? We used to hate Kevin Friend. I'd love Kevin Friend as a ref now. Yeah, I hated him when he was in the Premier League because he seemed to send a Sunderland player up every time. But now I beg him to come down because some of the decisions, I just think some of them, it's just the inconsistencies that rile you, though, isn't it? Because you can give one thing and then the same thing can happen for you when you give a penalty or a red card, and it's, you don't get it. So at least it was inconsistent all over yesterday. You know, I don't think you can really blame the ref too much for the result.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat, Michael Bowers, our very own, says Wycombe away is a unique kind of fixture. They made Adams Park a tough place to visit. It's an ugly battle. So we've already got this fixture out of the way. Rotherham and Wigan have still got to go there. Fair point. DJ Sizzler Watson says, Philly, we should give a DVD box set to Dino. He can learn about our great club. While we're on about that, I got this for Christmas, the Absolute Record, and I don't know if you've seen it, but anybody watching, can we see that all right? It's got all the stats in there about Sunderland's history. Fantastic book. It's on sale at the club shop.
Again, Philly, I say this for me personally, the history of this club, I don't need to know it, because what's happened with Sunderland in my lifetime, I think life is your time. I don't need to look back of what's happened in the past, because I don't want to know what happened in the past, because it was in the past.
This is your page, Dino.
What's going on now?
There you go, Dino. That's your page. We're going to send you. So what we're going to do, we'll try and we'll chip in and we'll get you a copy of that, and then it's a good read when you sat on the toilet. You'll be all right. Good toilet book. Right then, what about a man of the match then yesterday? You know, I thought we played pretty well. Jack, do you want to start us with that?
It can only be one man for man of the match, Phil, and it has to be Ross Stewart. Very, very unfortunate not to get a hat-trick. Terry thinks it was already over the line. I think most people would probably agree, Sunderland fans. I'm always a big fan of giving the attackers the goal. The goalkeeper doesn't want an own goal, does he? So give it to Ross Stewart. But by the letter of the law, he only got 2. But yeah, he was excellent. And I think the way he's playing at the moment, he can be the difference from us. If he keeps us up at the end of the season, we're going to have a cracking shout of promotion, because he looks like he's going to score 1 or 2 every game.
Well, it is that thing of where when they're given a goal or an own goal, if the shot's on target and then it hits somebody and goes in, it's given as, you know, as the striker's goal. If it's going off target, takes a deflection and goes in. And I thought he was unlucky. I mean, you know, it's on target, it's there, it's behind him, it's in the goal. I thought it was harsh not to give him that.
Well, Terry, it wasn't on target because he hit the bar. That doesn't class as a shot on target when it hits the bar.
But it bounced over the line, so it's a goal.
Well, technically it didn't, or would have been given to Stewart.
No, just because the AFL and the officials don't like Sunderland, that's the only reason why he gives an own goal. Simple as. They couldn't give a shit. If it had been Ipswich player or a Rotherham player or a Wigan player, it would have been a goal. Because it's Sunderland, Stewart will give it as an own goal. Screw Sunderland.
It's a conspiracy. There you go. All right, Terry, what about a man of the match from you then?
Oh, there was some great performances all over the park, but I agree. Ross Stewart for me, absolutely fantastic display yesterday. And to be honest, there should have been 4 goals, never mind a hat-trick. I mean, that on the line clearance by Jacobson was superb. I thought that was going in all day long. I mean, for me, their man of the match was Jacobson.
Yeah. Well, I thought their man of the match was their goalie, was brilliant. But Dino, your man of the match. Oh, by the way, your dad's been on there and says, well, Dino read it within a day because he's never off the bog. So if you're always on the bog, so it won't take you long to finish the book. Dino, man of the match yesterday.
I'm going to give it to Pritchard. I thought Pritchard was class. He should have had more assists. I mean, he played some unreal cracking balls. One through to Gooch, one through to I think it was Embleton, and they just couldn't put it away. For me, I thought Pritchard's just in his own little class at the minute. You've got like Pritchard, Stewart, and they kind of like everyone else below them, because them two are just shining. So you could have given it to Ross Stewart. Of course you could have. He got 2 goals. He played really well. Should have probably had a hat-trick, but unfortunately didn't go over the line and hit off the keeper's arse, so went for an own goal. But Pritchard, for me, he's just shining every week. He's a 9 out of 10 nearly most weeks now. Every game he's been class, and I think he's been one of the signings of the season so far.
Yeah, yeah. For me, it's a toss-up between Stewart and Pritchard. I thought Pritchard was brilliant. I thought some of the balls what Pritchard played yesterday were just absolutely superb. But again, Stewart, with his goals, and his workload is just unbelievable. So it's a hard one to call. Doug B, I've supported Sunderland since the early 60s. That book would be interesting. It is the absolute record. We're giving them a plug on this. We're not sponsored. I was going to bought myself, but I bought for Christmas, and it is a great read. What about? Were you surprised not to see Trey Hume, the new signing, who's come in yesterday, even just sort of sat on the bench, Terry?
No, but he's one of the players that would definitely start on Tuesday night.
Is that it? Short and sweet. That's unusual from you, Terry. Jack, unsurprised not to see him?
I mean, yeah, it might have been with all the COVID interruptions from players that we had out. You know, it might have been an opportunity to get him involved. So yeah, I was surprised not to see him in the 18, unless it was a clearance thing. But I think we signed him. Was it Tuesday we signed him? So I'd like to think he was cleared in time to play on Saturday. So maybe they're just easing him in. Maybe they'll put him on the bench on Tuesday night or even start him.
Right.
See, Philly, I just think it was because, you know, that's one of the most physical games yesterday against Wycombe. I think it's probably just a game too soon for them. I think the best way to start someone like that is at home.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Terry. It wouldn't have been the easiest game for him to come straight in on. Dino, your thoughts on Trey Hume? Do you think they did right to sort of leave him out and you leave him for Tuesday?
Well, there's no right and wrong. I would have liked to see him on the bench. I mean, I can't remember what the bench was, but I don't know if I had because if Winchester got injured, I mean, who would you have put there? I don't think we had another recognised right back. I don't believe so anyway. So I think he should have been on the bench just in case anything happened to Winchester. But it would have been good for him to see what the whole match routine's because it'll be different from where he's from, like different tactics and like what he wants from his fullbacks. So it would have been interesting for him personally to be around the squad, see what the manager's got to say at half time, beginning of games, and just being around a hostile atmosphere. Maybe it would have probably benefited him. So yeah, I was a bit shocked he wasn't on the bench, to be fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Thane says Trey to come in for Evans. I reckon probably Tuesday. Down here somewhere. Mick Griffiths, how's Colin the mascot coming along, Philly? He's fine downstairs. I'm sure if Karen's watching, she'll bring him up and he can say hello to you. Just very quickly on to Tuesday when we play Lincoln City at home. Good news, Tommy returns. We used to do the live commentary on the home games via Tommy, who's part of our channel. He's up in Scotland. We had some technical difficulties and he couldn't manage to do that, but that's all been sorted. So on Tuesday, Tommy will return, so you can tune in. If you can't get to the game, tune into SAFC Fan TV and you'll get full commentary of the the Sunderland versus Lincoln City game via Tommy up in Scotland. Right, also then, the transfer window is now open. As we've already mentioned, we've hang on, who's this? Hello, come here, come and say hello to everybody. There you go. Here's Colin, who's getting really big now. All right, say hello to everybody on the mic there. All right, keep over. Right, give everybody a wave. See you. Bye-bye. All right, there you go. All right, so there's Colin, looking well. Oh, are you good? There you go. For me, I thought it was excellent that we got Trey Hume on early. I think we've always in the transfer window, it's always left to the last week and stuff like that. And I know it was mentioned earlier. I think Terry, you said, you know, we've still got, or one of you said, we still got a few weeks left in the transfer window. Let's get these players in now, and so that they can be up and running. Whilst it's still open. So if you could sign one player, a realistic signing for Sunderland, who would you take? Who do you think would be a good acquisition to the squad? Terry?
Well, we're relying on Stewart an awful lot, and if Stewart, he got a few knocks yesterday. If he gets injured, we've got nothing. We have nothing at all with Broadhead injured, a few out with COVID. So for me, Freddie Ladapo, I'd like to see a striker come in. That's just my opinion. Someone, you can play sort of maybe even alongside Pritchard in the home games. Alongside Stewart in the home games. So, yeah, Freddie Ladapo for me would be a good signing, but obviously at the right price.
Right, fair enough. Back on the chat down here. I think it says O'Brien was recovering from the side effects, I'm sure. Will that be of COVID? But he should be available for Tuesday. Down there. Then also says Cole Stockton and Paul Digby. Dino, if you could have if you could have anybody realistically, somebody we could sign, who do you think would be a good addition to the squad?
I don't actually know, because I don't really know who's available. I mean, Cole Palmer was talked about, and I know he scored for Man City again, I think. Is he a striker, Cole Palmer? He plays up top somewhere. So I wouldn't mind.
Didn't he play on Friday night in the cup when they played? I think he played then, did he?
And I think he scored as well. I think he did score the winner as well. I think he did anyway. But yeah, I think just if it saved money for the season, because obviously we've just spent money on Trihume. So if we could get in another loan signing, it'll better in the long run for the simple fact we won't have to spend the money what we would do. So I would probably say loan, and it gives you a better relationship with Man City to get future loans in the future. So I would probably take someone like Cole Palmer.
Right, fair enough. Jeff Allcroft, Spannerman says, listen to Thane, he's our top scout. Jack Shaw's chucking Patrick Roberts in there again, which has been bandied about. We don't have any solid sort of information on that. I mean, you hear these names bandied about, and sometimes they've never even been contacted. Jack, anybody in particular you think would be a good buy for Sunderland?
I've watched a few players against us this season, and a couple that I've been impressed with. I liked Sonia Lugo when we played Ipswich. He was in the middle and he had a really good game down there. He's experienced. I don't know if he'd fit our recruitment model though, because he's quite old. Wycombe had a lad at centre-back called, I think he was called Farino yesterday, a big lad at the back. Farino, I think he was called.
Farino Joseph or something like that.
I thought he was good. I've looked at him. He's only young, so maybe someone like that. And obviously, backup striker Ladapo would be one that interests me. But someone of that nature, I think I'm fully agreeing with Terry. I think backup striker, if anything happens to Ross Stewart, but I still think we're lacking like a little bit of muscle somewhere. A little bit of a strong centre half, or a little bit of athleticism in the midfield, like a box to box man.
Right, fair enough. Just very quickly on the chat here, if I can find it somewhere. I've lost it. Oh no. All right. Jeff Allcroft, Spannerman says Dino, Dennis Stewart is available. Do you know who Dennis Stewart is? No. Okay, fair enough. All right. Right. Different ones on the chat also. Where was that? I'm all over the place here. Can't find it now. Sorry about that. Apologies. Right. Well, I mean, for me, Ladapo is the standout one. I think I think he's a proven goal scorer at mine. So is Will Grigg, in a way. And the fact he's put in a transfer request and the double whammy of it would weaken our promotion rivals there as well. So that's who I would immediately jump at. We got some of the loanees recalled back, obviously because our squad's thin on the ground. That's Patterson, Diamond, and Hawks, wasn't it? Who came back. Of them, would you retain any of them? Would you keep them? Or because I imagine the club's going to just send them back again. Is any of them you would hang on to, Jack?
Possibly Jack Diamond. He seems to have had a really good season so far from Harrogate. And moving forward, I know it's not an area we're particularly hugely short in, but if he's playing really well, and he's gotten the one thing that I always had a question mark over Jack Diamond with his end product. he was very raw and he had plenty of energy and enthusiasm. But when he got into the final third, his final shot or cross was often not the best quality, but he seems to pop up with some goals for Harrogate. So maybe if we can keep Jack Diamond, he would be the one of the three that I would like to try and hang on to if we can.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he was pretty good yesterday as well when he came on. Tony Lee made a comment when we was doing the match yesterday also about the number 5 for Wycombe, Anthony Stewart, in midfield. He thought he would be a good addition to our club. He thought he had a decent game.
What the centre back?
Whatever he was, I don't know. You commented on him. Dino, would you keep any of the loanees we've recalled, or do you think it's more advantageous to us that they go back out to the clubs they were at?
Well, for me, Hawks didn't have to come back. I don't feel like we needed Hawks back. I think Hawks should have just stayed where he was. I think it was quite a good move to get Patterson back. I didn't realise that both our keepers were going to be out, and to stick Carney in, I think it might be a bit too early for Carney. I don't really know much about him. So it would have been probably a bit of a risk where, Patterson, he's had a little bit of experience at the first team level, so it was quite crude. And Diamond looked quite good, to be fair. He looked like he wanted to beat his man. He was making quite good decisions when to release the ball. He wasn't holding on to it too much. But if we're going to keep any of them, it's got to be Patterson and Diamond. I think Hawks, there was no need to bring Hawks back, to be fair.
Right, okay then. Terry, any you would hang on to?
I kind of thought we brought Hawks back just in case. Well, you never know when you're going to get a positive test on any other player. And if we didn't bring Hawks back, there could have been someone like Gooch could have been out. You could have Embleton out. So you need to have a bit more strength and depth just in case with this COVID. You don't know when someone's going to get a positive test and they can't play at all, can they? So for me, bring them all back. Would I keep any of them? Depends how far away McGeady is from getting back, how far away from Diaco is going to be from getting back, and other players the same. I haven't got that privilege of knowing when they're coming back. So I would keep them at the club while the club doesn't have enough sort of bodies to play at this moment in time. We need to have many players as possible. We need, and I want to be promoted this season. So we need to give the club and the team and Lee Johnson every opportunity. And it looks like Speakman and Lee Johnson are on singing off the same hymn sheet. And I just thought it was good to get the game going on Saturday. And like with Evans sort of being out now for a couple of days, because there's no way Evans can be playing. And you don't want to risk him anyway if that's the case. And I think it's a great opportunity for Triumph to come into the game and go on as right back on Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Well, what we'll do, let's quickly go to Tuesday. Lincoln City at home. We're on a roll still, unbeaten in how many now?
8.
So unbeaten in 8 at home. Good chance to go 3 points clear at the top of the league. No one else is playing midweek. Let's go straight to Terry, because Terry, have you got the whiteboard there, mate?
I do, but I think we're unbeaten in 10 games now. Aren't we unbeaten in 10 games?
I don't know.
10 games, yeah. Right, whiteboard. I think it's going to be exactly the same as it was on the weekend. And like I say, I think it's a good opportunity. If Triumph is fit, I think it's a great opportunity to put him in as right back, because Winchester will be needed in the centre of midfield. And rather than messing about putting Gooch back there or somebody else who's not a natural right back, let's see what Triumph is made of. He's fit, played plenty of games for Lingfield. He's a natural right back. For me, give him the opportunity, put him in there, see how it goes on. We've got a subs bench if he's not good enough, he's having a bad game, he can always change it. But I think for me, I would give the lad a try at right back. But against Lincoln sort of won the last game against Oxford, and it's been about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games since the last game before that, and they won a game was against Wigan away. So they can beat good teams. That was October the 23rd when they beat Wigan 2-1, and since then they've had a COVID break. They've drawn and lost plenty of games, but they beat Oxford yesterday. So indifference. I'm surprised how poor they're doing under Michael Appleton this season. I thought they were doing better. We shouldn't take them for granted. We shouldn't take any team for granted. If we turn up and play like we did against Sheffield Wednesday, Doncaster, yesterday against Wycombe, hopefully, touch wood, we will get 3 more points.
Right, fair enough. Tony Lee says Anthony Stewart would be good for us. Big, tough defender. Just very quickly, we'll pass it around because I want to go. We are running out of time now, so I do want to get a prediction off you as well. Win on. Oh, Thane, by the way, who is Stato Man, says we are unbeaten in 10 now, so that's correct there. Dino, 3 points clear at the top. The points better in the bag than games in hand because obviously when we play Tuesday, Rotherham will then have 2 games in hand over us, and Wigan I think will be up to maybe 5 games in hand. But better have the points in the bag, Dino.
I just want to concentrate on us. Don't worry about how many games in hand the other teams have got, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be concentrating on us. They're going to concentrate on themselves. So all we need to do is just keep winning games, not getting beat. Just win as many as you can. If it comes push or shove, we might draw the odd one, but just don't lose points. Was it someone says we need to get an average of 2 points? 2 points.
Michael Bowers always says that.
Yeah. So and we are on track for that. Still, so just don't get beat. As long as we keep winning games, one team's going to slip up. It's going to happen because the longer you leave games, you lose your form, you lose your fitness in certain games. It kind of showed in the Sheffield Wednesday game a couple of weeks ago when we played them away. We got battered 3-0, 3-1, and then we battered them. Do you know? What was it, 5-0 or something? Was it 5-0? Do you know what I mean? So the longer them don't play games, the worse it's going to be for them because they're not going to be fit and they're not going to have the form they did have. So let them crack on. Let's just concentrate on us. I don't care what other teams are doing in the league. We just need to keep on winning games, keep the streak going, and don't go on another bad streak, and we should be fine.
Right. Okay. A quick prediction from you, Dino.
For Lincoln, I'm going to say 3-1 Sunderland.
3-1. Jack. Points in the bag better than games in hand, and a prediction from you.
Yeah, 100%. I think you want to play as many games. When we're in this good run that we are at the minute, confidence is high. We've got momentum. You know, the games are coming thick and fast, which I think is only a good thing. I mean, I know people are saying, oh, you know, we're going to have good games in hand, and we have, but I agree with what Dino says. If we can get as close to 2 points a game, 92, maybe 93, 94 points at the end of the season, if we don't go up with that points tally, we'll be incredibly unlucky. So all we need to do is try and get, I mean, because we got a point yesterday, I think we need to be looking for 6 now in the next 2 games. We need to be beating Lincoln and Accrington. But I'm confident we can do. I don't think Lincoln are, as Terry says, Lincoln aren't the team that they were last season. They look like they're low on confidence. They've had a lot of injuries, I think, with COVID and being off form. So I think 2-0 Sunderland on Tuesday night.
2-0. Nice one. Just very quickly, Bill Roberts on the chat says, Dino, you're right. Take care of our own business. Keep the unbeaten streak alive. Need 3 points for sure on Tuesday. Terry, we just need a prediction from you. And you prefer the points in the bag, yes?
Oh, exactly. The more points we get, the higher up the table we get, the further we get from Wigan, the more pressure they're going to feel with these games in hand. It's okay having games in hand, but as we know from past history, it's hard to win them when the pressure's on. So I'm going to go for Sunderland 3, Lincoln 0.
Right, 3-0. Myself, I'm going to go for 4-0. I just think we're awesome at home at the moment. I think we're on a high. So I'd like
Phil.
to we put that to bed. Yes, Terry.
Are you still putting a bet on 3-1 though?
I am.
Just in case.
Yeah, I always put me 3-1 on. I'm sick of never winning, but never mind. It's always on there. Right, that just about wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in. Quickly remind you, of course, there is up for grabs this Bolton trip. We are going to Bolton on the 29th of January. We've got the bus booked. We've got tickets arranged for everyone off the channel. We're all we're traveling down there. And if you'd like to be part of the day, go on, Terry, jump in quickly.
Sorry, did I even hear Dino's prediction and Jack's prediction?
I'll tell you what they were. Dino's was 3-1 and
Right.
Jack's was 2-0.
How did I not hear that? How did I not even hear that? I must be getting old. Sorry, lads, sorry.
You are getting old. That's the problem.
What?
Right. So if you want to be part of that day, all you have to do, you have to be a member. So if you're a member of the channel, then all you need to do, obviously, you've got to be available on the day and live within the area where we can get you on the bus and get you to Bolton and back. It's all free of charge, paid for by the channel. If you want to do that, if you're a member of the channel, just send us an email to safcfantv73@gmail.com. Just express your interest. We'll put you into a draw, and we will draw your name out the week before the game, and then we'll give you details of how you can join us. If you're not a member and you'd like to still go into the hat, you can join as a member. It's $1.99. There's a link in the description below. Just hit that, join, and then send us your details, and you're in the hat as well. And you could be joining us on a day out to Bolton with 5,000 plus Sunderland fans going down there. It'd be a great day at the end of January. Don't forget, this coming Tuesday, we are playing Lincoln City at home. You can get live commentary direct from the SAFC Fan TV channel, courtesy of Tommy up in Scotland. So you can tune in for that as well. Fellas, it's been a pleasure. It's been great to be back. I've missed you all, each and every one of you. Thanks for joining us. Terry, would you just like to say bye to everyone?
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Dino, say bye.
Goodbye.
Dino, when are you going to take your Christmas lights down, by the way?
Whenever I want.
Oh, it's so unlucky. If we don't get promoted, you know, it is your fault. Because
there's no reason to do it. Just have your Christmas top on as well, like that. You know what I mean?
Christmas stuff on. It's unlucky, man. For goodness sake.
Bollocks with unlucky, bollocks with unlucky. What happens, happens. Que sera.
All right, fair enough. Jack, say bye to everyone.
See you later, lads and lasses.
Terry, do you want the last word?
No.
Okay. Right, we'll see you all later. We'll be back on Thursday. And don't forget the live stream on Tuesday night. We'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.